Brothers and sisters, dealing with disrespect is something we all go through, and it's not easy. But what if I told you that Islam has a solution to this problem? Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The strong man is not the good wrestler. The strong man is only the one who controls himself when he is angry." Sorry, think about this for a moment. True strength isn't about overpowering others. It's about mastering yourself, especially when faced with disrespect. So in this video, I will tell you 7 practical principles to help you approach disrespect with calmness. As always, I challenge you to stay strong and watch this video until the very end. Do not be weak. Lesson 1. Ignorance. In the Quran, Allah guides us through moments of disrespect. In Surah Al-Furqan, which is translated as, "And the servants of the Most Merciful are those who walk upon the earth easily, and when the ignorant address them harshly, they say words of peace." Now let's break this down with a real-life example. Imagine someone makes a disrespectful comment about you, your character, or your abilities. In that moment of hurt, you must remember the advice of Allah in the words of the Prophet, peace be upon him, who said, "He who believes in Allah and the last day must either speak good or remain silent." Sahih al-Bukhari, 6475. Instead of reacting impulsively and losing your dignity by dropping to their level, speak words of peace and good. If you cannot do that, then simply tell them firmly to speak good or remain silent. And if you can't do that, then remain silent or leave. Understand this. This person's insulting words and behavior are about their own bad upbringing, their bad mindset, and their even worse manners. The one without manners has little to no faith. Their bad manners towards you are actually a reflection and proof of their own low quality. It is not a measure of your true value. It is the superior one who can respond in a better way. So remember, the best way is to respond with words of peace. If angry, then don't speak. Sit down, lie down, or, if you don't feel safe or calm, simply leave. Not every situation needs to be addressed right then. Only when you respect yourself and maintain your composure will you show true strength. Lesson 2. Self-reflection. In Islam, self-reflection is something that our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, encouraged us to engage in. He said, "Take account of yourselves before you are taken to account." Tirmidhi. Now imagine a person makes a disrespectful comment about your choices or actions. Instead of immediately reacting, take a moment to self-reflect. Ask yourself if there's any truth in their words. Did you unintentionally do or say something wrong? You must ask yourself these questions before you act. Take time to reflect in a safe place when you're calm and thinking clearly. In Islam, the practice of self-reflection is a pathway to personal growth. By objectively analyzing the event and your role in it, you gain clarity. The goal is not to blame yourself unnecessarily, but to look at your situation in alignment with Islam. So when faced with disrespect, remember to think about your actions. Lesson 3. Anger. Anger is a strong feeling. It is like a burning fire. Anything that gets close to it gets affected by it, and it spreads quickly to everything in its surroundings, taking everything along with it. This is why our Prophet, peace be upon him, encouraged us, Muslims, to make wudu, ablution, when we lose control after someone disrespects us. Why? Because what is able to put out fire? Water, right? So the next time you become fueled with anger, go and make wudu with cold water and see for yourself how it decreases your anger. Lesson 4. Still and silent. I want you to take a look at this image of 2 glasses of water. Both of them contain dirt, yet one of them appears clearer than the other. Why is that? Because you gain peace when you stay still and silent. When you constantly overthink, your mind and heart focus on things that are out of your control, and this only clouds your ability to make good choices. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "If one of you becomes angry while standing, let him sit down. If the anger leaves him, good. Otherwise, let him lie down." Abu Dawud. This hadith beautifully shows how important it is to stay still and silent when you are frustrated. By taking that moment to pause, you regain control over your reactions. Now, do not misunderstand me. I am not telling you to suppress your feelings. No one can control what feelings arise, but we can choose what we do with them. I am asking you to be aware of your feelings, to think about them, to understand why they're there, and to maintain control over them, channeling them safely and wisely. Lesson 5. Gratitude. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us, he who does not thank the people is not thankful to Allah. Imam Ahmad. Imagine you have helped your friend with something, and that friend suddenly dismisses your efforts. How would you feel? Maybe you would feel unworthy, hurt, or upset. Some people do not merit repeated help and are actually quite harmful to us. True friends will appreciate our efforts and will help us as well. But everyone can make mistakes occasionally, and your friends will too. Remember the Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, journey to spread Islam. This is a prime example of why we should be thankful and kind, even if our kindness is ignored. This is because your actions are for the sake of Allah, and your reward comes from Allah alone. When we make our intention for Allah, we free ourselves from the disappointment of the people around us. If this is hard to accept, it may be because you are actually doing these actions for the sake of recognition from others. This means your intention is not sincere. If people do not thank you for your efforts, remember that Allah is pleased with it regardless, as long as your intention is for Him and Him alone. It is also important to be grateful for your life, even if you're surrounded by thankless relatives or feel unappreciated. Remember that Allah sees you, appreciates you, and your reward is even greater because of the difficulty you face. Reflect on all the good you have and know that someone else in another part of the world would be happy to trade their problems for yours because their life is so much worse. With this mindset, you can feel grateful for the decree of Allah in your life. Increase in Iman, faith. Increase your blessings from Allah and become a good example for those around you. Lesson 6. Trust in Allah. In the Quran, we are reminded that Allah is the ultimate controller of all things, all situations, and all destinies. This trust in Allah and Him alone is called tawakkul. Allah is interpreted to have said, "Nothing will befall us except what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector." Let the believers then put all their trust in Allah. Surah At-Tawbah 9:51. People can say and act in ways that are unfair, but if you let it affect your emotions and actions, you may find yourself falling into their trap. So trust that Allah's plan is far greater than any small-minded incident or disrespect. Know that this difficulty is a test of your character, your heart, your submission to Allah, and your trust in His decree and in His messenger. Peace be upon him. Lesson 7. Forgiveness. In Islam, forgiveness is like a superpower. It brings peace to your heart. The Quran teaches us about forgiveness in Surah Al-Imran, verse 134, which states that Allah loves those who pardon others. Imagine a friend or family member saying something hurtful to you. We all have experienced this at some point. Now, instead of holding on to that pain, you can choose to forgive. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "It is not lawful for a Muslim to stop talking to his brother for more than 3 days." Sahih al-Bukhari, 6076. However, do remember that this applies to those who are not committing injustice against you or harming your religion. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was okay. It's saying, "I won't let this hurt me anymore." And it's about seeking your reward from Allah. It's like freeing yourself from a heavy load on your back. By forgiving, you let go of anger and resentment, making room for growth and contentment. That being said, do not let the person back into a position where they can hurt you again unless they have sincerely apologized and reformed their ways. Islam does not tell us to be punching bags for others. Rather, we should be wise, understand what is happening, and be realistic. Know this: Allah sees your actions and will reward you immensely for them. So choose to forgive and watch your heart become lighter. May Allah reward you for your efforts. Until next time, stay blessed and steadfast.